infuriate overburdened and heavy-handed EU regulations looks set to continue even after Britain has legally left the bloc. Shock reports today showed how dozens of UK theatres face shutdown as they scramble to implement a new EU regulation which will come into force by 2020. NEW EU restrictions on lighting to resolve concerns over energy efficiency will see a blanket ban on most lighting fixtures that are currently in use in theatres. Hugh Bennett from Brexit Central called the move, which could cost British theatres £1 billion, a classic example of EU micromanagement. Speaking on Sky News, Mr. Bennett said, "It may look fine on paper to bureaucrats who have spent their entire life at the Commission and never had a real job. But out there in the real world, it has consequences. It is the small theatres and the small businesses who face those consequences. The theatre community is by no means pro-Brexit, but to have the entire industry unite against this shows just how poorly thought through it is. The Brexit veto came at the implementation period, and fears surrounding the customs union, which would see the UK comply with EU rules without any say at the table." He added, "People can see that it is very frustrating. We will already have legal while FTHEU, and yet there are these regulations still coming down the track to be imposed on us." A warning from THE Society of London Theatre and THEATRE revealed last month that the total bill of the new regulations will cost the £1 billion, more than 5 times initially feared. Getty, Sky. Infuriate overburdened and heavy-handed EU regulations looks set to continue due to theatre scramble to implement a new EU regulation which will come into force by 2020. Sky. Bennett attacked the move, which could cost British theatres £1 billion. "We will already have legally left the EU, and yet there are these regulations still coming down the track." Hugh Bennett. "There are also concerns the new plans will force venues to replace the entirety of their lighting infrastructure, placing smaller local under significant financial stress." Award-winning lighting designer Paul Constable said, "The deeper you read into these proposed regulations, the more alarming the threat becomes. The new rules are clearly written for domestic and industrial lighting, and while the goal of reduced energy consumption is laudable, they show no understanding of the tools we use or the way we work. It is about an imminent threat to every tool we use."